Hello everyone, I'm going to sing a Bengali folk song featuring the cryptic notion of the friend, Bondhu, Bengali, Dost, Persian. My commentator is Noah. Noah is a scholar of Hindu religious worldviews who travels through the world in search of the unity in the Trinity. আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে, তাই তো আমি বন্ধুর ছবি রাইখাছি বুকে, তাই তো আমি বন্ধুর ছবি রাইখাছি বুকে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে। ও আমার বন্ধুর আশিক যারা, তারা হলো প্রেম পিয়ারা, আমার বন্ধুর আশিক যারা, তারা হলো প্রেম পিয়ারা, সদাই তারা প্রেম পিয়াসী উন্মাদি মতে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে। ও বন্ধু যেদিন আসবে ঘরে, দেখবো তারে নয়ন ভরে, বন্ধু যেদিন আসবে ঘরে, দেখবো তারে নয়ন ভরে, অন্তরে জড়ায়া ধরে রাখবো বুকেতে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে। ও আমার বন্ধুর প্রেমের সাগর, বন্ধু জানে প্রেমের খবর, আমার বন্ধু প্রেমের সাগর, বন্ধু জানে প্রেমের খবর, ঘরে ঘরে প্রেম বিলাইছে দিওয়ানা মতে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে। ও দেওয়ান ফকির ভেবে বলে, আমি বন্ধুর চরণ তলে, দেওয়ান ফকির ভেবে বলে, আমি বন্ধুর চরণ তলে, চরণ ধুলি দিও মাথে শেষ নিকাশে, আমার সাধ মেতে না গো বন্ধুরে দেখে।
Oh, my friend, I'm not content with seeing you now and then. That's why I keep your image within my heart all the time. Those who are lovers of my friend, they are suffused with a maddening love. Their hearts remain ever thirsty for love. Oh, my friend, on the day when you come to my dwelling, I will gaze at you for my heart's content. I will hold you close to my soul. Oh, my friend, you are an ocean of love. You know the true message of love. You go from house to house, madly distributing love. Dewan Fakir thinks thus, "Oh, my friend, I now place myself at your feet. In this final stock-taking, give me the dust of your feet." Thank you so much to Professor Barwa. Although his introduction of me is a somewhat ludicrous overestimation of my life, I'm very honoured to have been asked to offer some passing reflections on this folk song from the Indo-Islamic genre. Dr. Barrow has informed me that this is not a scholarly exercise, and thus I have resisted my usual desire for analysis and context, and instead have been thinking about what stands out for me in this song. Thus, with the very, very strong disclaimer that I am not qualified to be speaking as I will, and apologising profusely for my limitations of my understanding, I will do my best to reflect on a ternary of friendship, proximity, and the relationship between the intellect and the heart. The core of this poem is a consideration of friendship, revolving around the Sanskrit word bandhu, which can be either a human companion or a divine companion, and is etymologically derived from the root band, which means to bind or to tie. Indeed, this sense of bondage is something that, at first reading the poem, particularly stood out to me. We glimpse the intensity of the poet's yearning for the friend. While there is a plausible ambiguity as to the identity of this beloved, it could be either human or divine. Its framing in the Indo-Islamic genre and Ankar's inclusion of it in this series has directed my thoughts towards the nature of divine friendship, that of the lover and beloved. This is an all-surpassing relationship, the quality of which all other relationships are merely refractions. It is also a relationship of extreme inequality. As flawed humans, we are not only constantly falling prey to our forgetfulness and distraction, but our every aspect of being and existence is entirely and utterly dependent upon and bound to the friend's loving mercy. Thus, we are necessarily the lesser in this relationship, far outstripped by the friendship of our greater friend, who takes 10 steps towards us for every step we take toward him. Indeed, the capacity of the greater friend, Al-Wali Akbar, is so potent and its potential so inestimably vast that the discovery of this necessitates an undercurrent of painful yearning in the heart and mind of us lesser friends, knowing that while he knows us so completely and is closer to us than our jugular vein, we are so apt to grow forgetful of him. Thus we find the poet lamenting that he or she is not content with seeing you now and then. Rather, the heart of the poet longs to gaze at the Lord, the friend, and to hold the Lord close to the soul, to bind the soul to the Lord, thus enacting the reality at the root of Bandhu. While this is a supremely intimate relationship, in which our divine friend knows us better indeed than we know ourselves, the divine invites all of creation to fully submit to this intimate friendship. However, as the Quran and the Islamic tradition consistently reminds us, only God knows the true inner disposition of each person's heart, or each thing's heart. Nevertheless, across time and history, we do find particular individuals whose love for the friend is powerfully apparent. Indeed, the Islamic tradition recognizes these friendships explicitly as awliya, recognizes these individuals explicitly as awliya, literally meaning the friends of God. It is these people, the lovers of my friend, that the poet calls out to, keenly identifying the key characteristics of the awliya as a maddening love and an ever-thirsty heart. Indeed, upon reflection, we find the saints and the awliya across religious traditions, those who have surrendered themselves most fully to the divine friend, are frequently quite mad by mainstream standards. As Professor Barrower knows, I spent a long time reflecting on the life of St. Francis of Assisi. Francis's hagiographies frequently illustrate the extent to which he and his followers were seen as mad. He inhibited a primordial, phatraic even, relationship with the world, founded wholly upon his devotion to the divine friend. Crucially, it was by virtue of this devotion that his love was extended to include all of humanity and all of creation. Literally, he went from house to house, madly distributing love, as the individual in this poem also does. It is through this friendship of the divine friend, thus, that we most profoundly and tenderly realize that we are part of the family of creation. But there is also a pain to this love. Being inexhaustible, it is freely distributed. But, having tasted this love, and knowing that it is inexhaustible, the dervish is not content with seeing this friend now and then, but rather ever thirsty and never quenched. Indeed, this is often felt incredibly acutely. Francis, for example, practiced extreme asceticism throughout his life in an attempt to strive for further proximity to God. And even in the examples of less extreme individuals, we find countless examples of the saints and awliya constantly crying or weeping throughout their night prayers. This is the crushing, maddening pain of love and longing. Nevertheless, this is an inherently hopeful pain, perhaps uniquely so. It is an exasperation at the self, the ego or the nafs, which so stubbornly gets in our way, but it is also an anticipation of the day in which the friend most fully enters the poet's dwelling. To bring an end to our reflections, we can highlight that the poet's song is both affective and factual. It is the expression of a heart attuned to the reality of the world. The refrain operates at two levels. "O my friend" simultaneously affirms the relational reality between the divine and the poet as factual, while also operating as a cry of yearning. As is common in the best of prayers, theological statements of fact become doxological vehicles to seek a more intimate relationship with God. that God is the friend, and the friends of God exist in particular ways, and that God is the ocean of love who knows the true message of love. All of these are facts. They operate, however, not according to the normative hierarchy of the intellect over the heart, but rather here the intellect is submitted to the heart. Thus, while we may intellectually know the same theological facts to be true, we glimpse how further on the path these develop into emotional truths, consistently felt and tasted, leading to more perfect glimpses of the friend. It is in this upturning of normative hierarchies that a type of enamored madness becomes characteristic of this new norm. And as a final reflection, in this season of fasting, as we sit in the confluence of both Ramadan and Lent, a time of upturned norms, what better time is this for an attempt to emulate Dewan Fakir's prostration at the feet of the friend, a natural placing of the heart over the intellect. Thank you.